These are the voyages of the indispensable Thursday show. Its mission? To boldly go where no podcast has gone before.
Recorded live at the Depends for Men Undergarment Studios in Orange County, California. It's the Indispensable Thursday Show with Sable and Dave. Mediocrity never goes out of style.
So, Dave, what's the dumbest thing that you've ever posted on Facebook?
Oh, that would be hard to discern. I mean, you just look through my Facebook posts and stuff, usually from Twitter going to Facebook or what? No, it's articles and whatnot. Mm-hmm. I don't know. Do you know what the dumbest thing I've ever tweeted, I've ever Facebooked is?
I don't know what the dumbest thing that you've ever Facebooked is, but I can tell you.
Did you Facebook your balls?
I have recently Facebooked the dumbest Facebook post I've ever made.
Okay.
And that barely tops the dumbest tweet I had ever tweeted, which I guess I'll tell you about second. So let me tell you about my Facebook post first. Oh, hey. All right.
Your phone is just going off.
I thought I was on Do Not Disturb. Anyways, last Saturday, I was joining an old band that I used to play with, the Carry On Band, and we were playing at a wedding. Fantastic. Unfortunately, you have to get early for sound check, and then band photos, and then wedding photos, and then the dinner, and then the show. It's a long day. So we had the kids were dropped off for the babysitter around 3:15, 3:20, and then we weren't home until 11 o'clock at night. No problem. My job is to take the girls home at the end of the night.
The girls
who are babysitting.
Oh, okay.
Twin girls.
I'm starting to imagine inappropriate Facebook mentions about
twin
this.
Girls were babysitting. My job is to get home from the wedding, drive the girls home.
Right. Oh, I know these girls. Okay. I know what you're talking about.
So I'm Instagramming the band. There's a nice backdrop. I got a nice picture of Lori and I. You know, I didn't look like too much of a schlub that night. I had a new black shirt on. It was great. Looked fine. Pants were a little bit tighter than
uniform for guys over 40, black shirt.
Well,
any sort of black shirt will do.
The band uniform.
Good.
Black. Sure. Black socks, black shoes, black pants, black belt, black shirt, black undershirt.
Jeez.
White hair, white beard.
Yeah, right.
But all the guys in the band, we all dressed the same here. So I'm taking pictures, and I like to go Instagram to Facebook. It's usually how we do that. So I get to the table. Now, there was an open bar. So at 6:30, all right, I had a drink, and at 7 I had a drink, and I think by 8 o'clock I was actually done drinking because had eaten dinner and we were going to go up and play. But at one point, they brought over to the table, they poured champagne, they poured wine, I had a water, and I had a half of my second drink, which was not an old-fashioned, it was something that had bourbon and seltzer water that the guy made. And I said, wow, I have almost...
Bourbon and soda.
Whatever. I don't know.
Bogey might drink.
Is that what it was? Mm-hmm. I meant to look it up so I could tell you more.
It's quite good. I never have seltzer water around the house, but I like a bourbon and soda.
Okay, so here in front of me, and you have to imagine, you're at a fancy dinner, right? Fancy wedding dinner. You have your bourbon. You've got your glass of red wine, glass of champagne, a water to wash everything down with. And I said, this is great. I just need a coffee. So I took a picture of this, and I posted it to Facebook. And Lori tells me later, oh, the girl's mom, she said that the husband will be picking the girls up later. And I went, oh, my God.
That's good.
Here I am like a dummy posting a whole buffet of alcohol on my plate, which any rational person would assume that I was going to drink, and that's why they were in front of me, and that's why I took a picture.
You didn't show a picture of the drive-up car, the carport that used to go to the burger stands. They'd hang the tray on the side of your window with the liquor on it, so you can drive and just reach out and pour yourself a drink and put it back on the tray. You didn't put that on there, did you?
No.
I know you have one of those. You get those as seen on TV. Those are great.
Right, as seen on TV. So it occurred to me, because of course after dinner we went to go play. I didn't finish the wine or the champagne. I barely finished that other drink. And then I had a couple of coffees.
So you weren't really drunk by the time.
No, I wasn't drunk. I mean, I was driving.
But she obviously was like,
2 drinks early in the night with dinner doesn't even get me up to a 0.04.
Yeah.
And I've tested this.
Well, that's a mom who's looking out for the daughter. That's good. Good for her.
Well, but so first of all, I felt bad because how stupid was that to say, hey, I'm going to drive your daughters home later. Look what I'm drinking.
Yeah. That's good. That's great.
So that was dumb. And then I realized, now what if, now this is the stupidest of stupid, okay? I was not drunk. I have to drive my wife. I got to take care of my kids. I wait to drink too much when I'm not driving, right?
Yeah.
What if some idiot crashed into my car while we were driving, which could happen to anybody.
Sure.
And then
could be
during the
they drive right up your ass when they're texting.
And then during the investigation, they look at my Facebook post and they go, look at that guy. Look what he was drinking.
Right. Or if they even remotely smell liquor on your breath, it's because you got plowed into at a signal when you were parked, but, quote, alcohol was involved, unquote. So they're able to screw you.
Right? How stupid would that be? So clearly the dumbest Facebook post I've ever posted. And then I
don't think I've done any that stupid. Or if I have, no one's pointed it out to me.
Well, on the bright side, the mom was joking. And I had Lori text her several times.
Did you end up driving the girls home? Or did the
the dad did come and pick them up. Even like we assured them this was not imbibed. But it's okay. She got a direct apology from me. That's all right.
That's good. That's great.
Now the listeners heard our special Star Trek intro again.
Did they? Oh,
they did.
Okay.
You didn't.
I
didn't suffer you through it again. But last week, I made this fancy intro to get people excited about the new Star Trek series that's coming out on CBS. And then I forgot to talk about it.
And like many of the topics we announced, we just completely forget about them and move on to other things.
Right?
Let's try to do that again.
I go down my list of notes and I just don't think about anything else. So, Dave, can you tell me about the new Star Trek series?
I don't know much about it, but they are having a new Star Trek series coming out January 2017. So they're, shooting them, writing them now, I guess. But I laughed because I was reading it and it said, just the first sentence made me laugh. CBS Television Studios announced today it will launch a totally new Star Trek television series.
Now, why would you launch an old Star Trek television series?
Well, it's just kind of funny to say totally new based on the same old crap you've been watching for 50 years. But I like Star Trek. I just thought it was a funny way to say it. I'll probably check it out. It'll be fun. I like Star Trek. I like the old ones. I like the newer ones. I didn't spin off into Deep Space Nine and those other ones, but I like the main Star Trek shows.
I watched those here or there. I always thought it was interesting that whenever there was a person of color on the show as an actor, they oftentimes had
green or half blue, half white. I mean that kind of person of color,
like an actor of color.
Yeah, like an Andorian.
They oftentimes had something glued onto their face or their head.
Yeah,
Lieutenant Worf had a big like a
Klingon,
big butt was on his head.
Right.
Geordie LaForge had the goggles on his face.
Right. It looked like one of those old combs that girls would put in their hair, like they closed in the back. They're exactly what it was. Probably it was just doctored up,
slipped over forward.
Yeah.
So I wonder. Hopefully, it'll be more inclusive. Now, it's interesting that they're going to be streaming right away. It sounded to me.
Well, they had Whoopi. She was just regular black person in that show. But I don't know how many other black actors they had or other people of color.
It sounded to me like they're going to launch some sort of a new pay streaming service that you're going to have to subscribe to in order to watch the show.
Looks like they're going to allow you to stream it on their CBS All Access. I think it's $6 a month as they have it now. Sorry, $5.99. I don't want to overstate the price, but apparently they're going to let you do that, which is good. I think every single network ought to be doing this. They have to. People are cutting cords like crazy. Like I cut 2 cords when my kids were born, and I cut another cord after that, and I'm still cordless. And that's the way it's going.
That's the way it's going. So that'll be interesting. If I have to pay for another subscription just to watch one show, I probably won't.
Oh, I won't either. But, well, here's the thing: is you can do as long as they don't have you do like sign up for a year for that.
Right.
Like Amazon makes you buy it for a year, which I don't like. But Netflix, you can jump in, pay your $8 or $9 and like binge watch all the shows you like and then, dump it. That's good. You could do that with this. You wait till the end of the season, you pay your $6, you binge watch all the Star Treks, then you cancel.
Like I just finished watching season 1 of The Flash. Were you ever into this show, The Flash?
No, never did. I don't find that funny. I think women should not be subjected to seeing nude men against their will, just opening up their jackets willy-nilly in a park. I don't like it, the idea at all. I don't think it should be glorified either.
I think you're watching The Flasher.
Okay,
I was talking about a dude in a tight red suit.
Hold on.
Trying to show off his package.
You
at
are
high
correct.
Speed.
Yes, The Flash. I still don't know what that is.
Well, it's a fun show. It's kind of like Fringe. There's a bunch of supernatural metahuman activity, and the group of scientists and superheroes have to.
Flash is super fast. He just runs fast. How fast can he run? Is there any limit to how fast he can run? Could he go faster than the speed of light?
Well, per episode, he goes faster and faster till the end of the season, where he has to do something. And now this might have bothered me if I had watched this on network TV. They left it hanging as to whether he saved the world or not. Is he fast enough to save the world?
Did they order another season?
Well, since we're in the season 2 on air right now, I have to assume they saved the world.
Okay. Safe bet, yeah. He'd be a loser if he didn't. You'd probably tune out after that. It's like, oh, that dude just, he ruined the world. I'm not watching that stupid show again.
Well, if the world was over,
how do they handle stepping into geek territory here? How do they handle the fact that he would age slower than other people while he's running fast? Do they deal with that at all?
Well,
has that ever been mentioned?
They're really covering. He's really young in this first season. He just got his powers. He's discovering them, and he hasn't opened up to all the power he's going to have as he accesses the Speed Force. But Barry Allen is slowly discovering more and more things he can do, and the show tackles much like Fringe did. It sort of tackles the discontinuity of multi-universes, parallel dimensions, and time travel.
Was he using his powers to stop Republicans from making global warming happen? Is he helping?
I think he could stop global warming if he wanted to.
He could?
Single-handedly, yeah.
Well, okay, I guess start watching.
There hasn't been anything he can't do so far,
right?
Including save the world. But I can't give you that spoiler if you haven't seen it.
No, don't. No spoilers.
There is if you didn't
follow, especially for that.
If you didn't follow all the comic books, which I didn't follow, there's a couple of really interesting twists in the show.
What's the little thing on the side of his? He looks like he has a Bluetooth. Even in the old comics,
yeah.
Is that a Bluetooth?
Sure.
What is it?
That's how he talks to his science team.
Oh, okay. So he's had a Bluetooth for like 60 years or 50. How old's the Flash comic?
Since the 50s, I think.
Yeah, so that's a long time.
Right. They have
Dick
satellites.
Tracy had the Apple Watch, and he had the Bluetooth. It's cool that we caught up and we're actually able to do these things sort of now. Although you can't talk into your Apple Watch yet. But
yes,
that's
you can.
Coming. I mean, you can't talk to someone else, can you?
Yes, you can.
Like a full-on conversation?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's a full phone.
I did not know that.
Voice-controlled phone, for sure.
Cool.
The Apple Watch. And you can even make a phone call if your phone is not in your pocket.
Uh-huh.
If you're on your Wi-Fi at home, you can just use it.
That's
pretty
cool.
Slick.
You took your Apple Watch back, though, because you were afraid of destroying it, right?
I did.
You had this $600 or $700 thing on your watch. Every time I have a watch on, I had the Pebble. I stopped wearing it because I was slamming it into everything. I'm not too careful when I walk, apparently, especially if I've had a cocktail or two at a party. I'm walking around, wham! Oh, Jesus! And I was thinking, oh my God, if I had an Apple Watch, no good.
Right. I'm sure I'll get another Apple Watch someday.
They need to make them a lot thinner, maybe.
But for now, I mean, I'm not going to buy an iPad Pro, but I'm interested in one. It'd be really nice.
Maybe one of those plasticky things that like wraps around you, so it's curved. That might be the ultimate Apple Watch.
Oh, that'd be a good Apple Watch.
Yeah, that kind of technology. Right.
Right. Now, did you go see? Since we're talking about TV shows, did you go see the movie the Spectre, the new James Bond?
I did
movie?
see Spectre actually.
Oh, good. So I want to play this review of Spectre from The Onion, and I want you to tell me what you think about it.
Okay, good. I almost read that.
There's not one person at MI6 who isn't talking about it.
Talking about what, exactly?
That what you did in Mexico was one step too far. That you're finished.
What do you think?
I think you're just getting started.
This is Peter Rosenthal, head film critic for The Onion. Today I'll be discussing Spectre, a chilling character study of a man suffering from debilitating alcoholism, who causes himself and those around him tremendous pain through his self-destructive behavior and refusal to acknowledge his problem.
Now, this really intrigued me right away. A chilling character study of a man suffering from debilitating alcoholism who causes himself and those around him tremendous pain through his self-destructive behavior and refusal to acknowledge his problems. Now, this is a long... I highly encourage everyone to watch the review.
Is it a real review or a phony review? Because it's The Onion.
Well, let me play a little bit more. I won't do
Okay.
the whole 3 minutes. We'll do a little bit more.
Directed by Sam Mendes, Spectre
Mendes.
tells the harrowing story of James Bond, a British government worker grappling with the day-to-day struggles
Government
of
worker.
alcohol addiction. Burdened with a stressful job and facing problems at work, James makes the risky choice to engage in some casual drinking.
Now, so far, that's accurate, isn't it? He is a British government
for
worker.
James Bond in general, but I don't even think he took a sip of liquor in this. I mean, he takes a couple of sips.
Oh, well, if
Spoiler.
the YouTube video shows him doing nothing but drinking. Now listen to this.
Oh, yeah. In
The
this
edge
movie.
off, willfully
Inspector.
ignoring his past issues with alcohol. He tells himself he can have just one martini. He pretends he's different from other problem drinkers. But 10 cocktails later, James
10.
is back in the personal hell of poor decision-making that consistently lands him and millions of alcoholics like him in life-threatening situations.
Now, the review goes on to talk about how his alcoholism and his bad decisions put him in situations where he often results to violence due to his inability to make good decisions. So, what did you think about Spectre?
Liked it, didn't love it. Not a lot of drinking or womanizing in this one. Smidge of womanizing and a smidge of drinking. But villain was a little underwhelming. I mean, this is the introduction of Spectre. It goes back. This is how Spectre was born. You know, Ernst Stavro Blofeld, the character.
Right.
And it's a little bit of a
Now-
okay. And they even have one of the greatest actors who's played one of the greatest screen villains ever, which is Christoph Waltz, who played, I think, one of the greatest villains ever was in Inglourious Bastards. That character that he played was flawless.
That's a great movie.
Yeah.
The intro of Inglourious Bastards, where they never quite show what's below the floorboard till the end of that scene is
It was masterful filmmaking.
it's
right?
masterful.
It is. It was great. This one's another. It's sort of following on the heels of Skyfall a little bit. It's a cautionary tale.
Well, now the James
ripped from
Bond
the headlines with the NSA spying and all kinds of things, surveillance and things.
Well, the James Bond series was rebooted in Casino Royale, right? So I think they
Daniel
alluded
Craig,
to a screenshot from that movie also. And then Skyfall was the second movie of the reboot. Is that correct?
Oh God! Now I'm gonna have to look it up. I'm not a huge Bond fan, so I don't remember. But I think Skyfall was the third one, maybe. No, and this is the fourth of the new one. So I think
Okay.
there's one in between there. We'll have to be googling that.
Maybe I'll have to do a little.
Brittany, can you send that information?
a little James Bond catch up on this. So I heard
yeah,
another.
I'll look up the James Bond films while you're talking.
Well, I heard another review, and the guy basically said, "I was checking my watch during the show, which means I wasn't really paying attention to the show."
No, you're right. This is the third one. I thought there was another one in there for some reason. I don't know why.
He said, and I love this quote. He said, "It seemed like a script that was written by committee, where there was like one person that knew what they were doing and a bunch of people that had to have their say. And because of it, the whole thing was terrible."
Yeah, I wouldn't go terrible. I would just say little too much. Dr. Evil really screws some of this up because now when I'm watching these, they did the best joke in the Austin Powers ones because he says, when he said begin the unnecessarily slow dipping mechanism. Remember, because he always explains what his plan. The villain explains the plot to James Bond and then hooks him to this bizarre sort of Rube Goldbergian machine that needs to do lots of weird things in order to kill James Bond while the villain makes his getaway. And this one does it a little. It does it too much. It's a little bit. And Spectre's plan is a little nebulous. You're like, what's he going for exactly? I'm not too sure.
Okay.
But
They made it quick, right? Wasn't this like a fast turnaround movie?
It's a little over 2 hours, I think.
No, I mean the production time.
Oh, they made it quick.
Wasn't it
I
something
don't
like
know.
18 months start to finish?
You can do that if you're shooting all green screen. Apparently now, and you got lots of Thai special effects guys, chained to desks in Malaysia somewhere.
There you go. That's it.
I guess.
All right, so check out the Onion's review of Spectre.
And I'm going to say unsatisfying ending for me a little bit. Somebody else said it better than me. There's like the filmmakers have gotten a hold of James Bond now, think James Bond should feel bad about being James Bond now. And there's a little bit of that going on too, which I don't like. James Bond should be happy to be goddamn
So
James
they
Bond.
have demasculated James Bond. Maybe that's why I don't like the
Not
reboot.
sure of the words. Yeah, I like all of them so far.
You're right. It's
And
not.
This is my
it's
least
not
favorite,
D.
but it was still pretty good.
I think it's emasculated. Isn't that the right word?
A little bit. They don't let him smoke anymore, but he still can drink. I don't know why.
So for me, growing up, James Bond was Sean Connery, and
What kind of cigarettes did he smoke? Do you remember? I think he smoked Nat Sherman's.
I don't know, but he
in the book.
would kick butt.
Remember his golf ball too? He always used a Penfield Heart.
But he always got the woman in every James Bond.
Oh yeah. Monica Bellucci's in this one. It's a surprise. I didn't know she was going to be in it. I've had the hots for Monica Bellucci for a long time. Italian actress. Oh, she's voluptuous and lovely, and she's
Even as an older gal.
oh yeah. Yummy. She's delicious.
Google image search later on.
Yeah. Monica Bellucci.
So while you were at the movies seeing Spectre, did you stop at Starbucks?
No,
No.
I went by myself. I was starting to tweet people out or just
Uh-huh.
to send out, hey, I was like, I was kind of in the mood to just go by myself because sometimes I like to just stretch out and just like, I'm just going to absorb it by myself. So I went for a selfie, I guess you could say.
Good idea.
So, but I didn't go. I just went straight there, caught an earlier show than I expected, so I went right in.
Okay, well, I want to just engage the audience for a moment. I was thinking about that. If you have any thoughts on the movie Spectre, if you thought that it was a great movie or it was terrible, let us know.
Let me know about the ending. If you see the ending, what do you think about that?
What do you think about the ending?
I was angered a little bit by the ending.
So call us on our hotline at
657-206-0777.
and leave us a voicemail.
Yeah.
Or send us an email to dave@theindispensable.show.com.
Yeah. What's our Telegram address?
Our Telegram address is .dit.dit.da
That's enough. Wrap it up.
And also, if you have a stupider Facebook post than I posted, let us know. Send us a tweet or an email. So,
Damn, we've taken up most of the show. It's 22 minutes into the show.
all right. Hey, I got
Good.
man, we haven't even gotten to item 3 on my list yet.
No, I haven't gotten to item 1 on my list yet.
Okay, let's hear your item 1 before I go on with mine.
Oh, God, I've got like a bunch of things. What should I start with? How about I was just checking this out today. Apparently, there's about 7 Italian olive companies that are being investigated because they're putting regular olive oil into the extra virgin olive oil bottles, and they're just selling it kind of like the gas stations. They just pump it all out of the same tank, and they sell unleaded and premium for the. No, they don't do that. But there's an investigation going on that you're not getting the purest grade or whatever. I don't really know what makes it, extra virgin or whatever. But they did have, like what Sable. What do you do? Like, how do you know if the extra virgin olive oil you bought is extra virgin? Do you have any idea?
I don't know.
I'll tell you one. Okay, when you break the seal, you should see a little bit of blood, right? Now,
Okay.
if it's not always, but if you if you don't see a little bit of blood, you know that your olive oil is
The
a
audience-
slut and probably slept with both Bluto and Popeye.
The audience should have been cracking up at that because I left a little pregnant pause there to see if anybody caught it. That was funny.
That's what they pay me the big bucks. So anyway, yeah, we'll be looking with bated breath, waiting with bated breath to see how that shakes out because I'd be pretty angry. Maybe they'll have a class action. They'll have a
Well,
send your old olive oil back.
I wonder if the olive oil fiasco is going to trump the truffle fiasco because this is taking the world by storm right now.
Truffle. I haven't. This has been. I'm kind of dieting lately, so. Lately, I've been on the. Remember when Jesse was here? He said you mentioned the paleo diet, and he was like laughing, like looking at the two of us. He's like, neither of us are doing any diet, but that's not true. I was doing the pail diet, which is you just dump a bunch of food into a pail
and eat it,
strap it over your head, just like mow it, but I decided to try to stop that now. I've been doing, I've been using Soylent actually, which is, I could talk about that later. It's a delicious sort of shake.
Okay.
That I'm using sort of in place of an occasional meal. Actually, I'm losing.
Sounds good.
Yeah. And I forgot what the hell you were talking about. Oh, truffles.
So in Italy and France, there's a problem with truffles. I wasn't even thinking about
truffles.
I wasn't even thinking about this. It's not on my list. But while I was in Italy on my vacation,
did you see Monica Bellucci?
No, I didn't. I'm sorry. Okay. Or if I did, maybe I didn't notice her. That happens,
you'd notice Monica.
It happens
Bellucci.
to me all the time. I meet people and then I find out later who they were. Like, oh, I was talking to that person. That's cool.
Yeah.
So, in the way that you find a truffle in Italy or France, okay,
you go to Trader Joe's. Is that how you find a truffle?
Well, Trader Joe's has to get the truffles from somewhere.
Oh,
now, truffles are the most expensive food in the world.
So you have more than caviar.
Yes.
Wow.
Way more. Mm-hmm. So you have to have a large plot of land that's all basically just forest. You have to get a trained dog. They prefer dogs over pigs, although pigs are good, but pigs will sometimes bite into the truffles and cost them thousands of dollars.
That's why they're called pigs.
Pigs. So you have to have trained dogs, and you spend the day, the dogs sniff out. Now, the truffle is a fungus that grows on a tree root. Mm-hmm. But when it's ripe, it has a certain smell. The dog sniffs it out. They dig it out. Boom, there's one truffle. Mm-hmm. And it's used in high-class restaurants all over the place. You get a truffle smaller than your fist, it'll cost $500-$600.
Are the chocolate truffles the same as those, or is this a different type of truffle?
I've
never looked into truffles.
That's just candy made to look like a truffle.
Yeah, I'm not sure what I don't think I've ever eaten a real truffle.
It's like a pungent, firm mushroom.
Mm-hmm, okay.
But food lovers go nuts for it.
I may have tried one, but I don't remember. I probably didn't. Otherwise, I probably, because I'm kind of a foodie.
In France and in Italy, it's a big deal. Mm-hmm. The highest class of food has truffles on it. But in China, they're just putting, here's 1,000 people, just go dig up every tree root in this square mile. Anything that looks like a truffle, throw it into the basket. They're selling truffles from China that have no taste, that aren't ripe, that aren't ready, that don't have the right smell.
Right. So they're in big truffle.
And they're paying cheap labor. So there's an international truffle crisis going on. It's a big deal in Italy. So I wonder if the same thing's going to happen with olive oil. Meanwhile, back in the United States, while the rest of the world is concerned about the state of truffles and the truffle black market and people's businesses and homes being robbed and people being held at gunpoint for their truffles, the Twitterati are losing their minds because Starbucks Corporation hates Christmas. Mm-hmm. Do you hate Christmas?
I love Christmas. As long as Jesus is not involved, I love Christmas. I like Santa Claus.
Okay.
I don't care. Jesus can be involved too. It's just, whatever. Jesus and Santa Claus are kind of the same thing for me.
Is it? Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah, they are. I mean,
they're both mythical creatures.
St. Nicholas was actually a real person.
But that's St. Nicholas.
I think Jesus of Nazareth was also a real person, as far as we know.
As far as,
but they're both magic. They're both magic, and they, Jesus. This reminds me of Ben Carson's been taking so much heat with his Seventh-day Adventist and his weird beliefs about the pyramids. I'm like, every president we've ever had has believed that Jesus of Nazareth was crucified to death, and then 3 days later, just walked out and flew up into the sky. Mm-hmm. That's okay, apparently. That's an A-OK belief.
But pyramids being granaries.
If you start adding other weird Seventh-day Adventist, twitch, little, what am I talking about here? Little frosting on the cake for the Jesus thing, a little extra here and extra there. That's just too wacky.
Well, Ben, I have a little Ben Carson after the Starbucks thing. He's a horrible liar. So, so Starbucks, I like Starbucks. I can go there and get my 2 long shots in a short cup. Mm-hmm. Every year, November and December, for as long as I've been drinking coffee, they change their cups from the normal white and green to these red and white Christmassy cups.
Yeah.
And I just stopped going into Starbucks in November and December because I'm just sick of like the repeated same Christmas music and
I
Christmas
love
decorations.
Christmas. You're a Christ killer. You're a Jew, so
That's
that's
right.
why you stay out of the Starbucks.
It doesn't interest me. I don't want to participate in the materialism of it. It's
Wait a minute, you don't listen to Christmas music? Because swear to God, when I leave my sister's house on Thanksgiving, I'm going to go straight home, pour eggnog. I'm going to put on Neil Diamond Christmas, and he's a Jew, by the way. So I'm going to put on Neil Diamond Christmas, and I'll maybe mix a channel on Spotify with Barry Manilow Christmas, and then the Vince Guaraldi, and I'll have
all
nothing but Christmas music all through.
All the best Christmas songs were written by Jews.
Nat King Cole.
We'll talk
maybe, yeah.
We'll talk about that in a future show as we get closer to the holiday. How about that?
Sure.
We'll do a special Christmas music show.
Yeah. We do Hanukkah at my house, as I said. 'Cause the girls are
Hanukkah.
Jewish, but they also do the Christmas and
My
and
kids like
Hanukkah.
to call it Christmaka because so many of their friends celebrate. So Starbucks has gotten a lot of heat because this year their cups are just red.
all red with no logo or
They're
anything.
They're just like their Starbucks cups with red.
Yeah.
There's no.
I have to pull this
wreath.
up while we're talking. I think I did.
There's
see
no
this, but,
tree on it. There's no gingerbread man. There's no snowball. There's no snowflake. There's none of the Festivus holiday type decorations. It's
it is
just a red
pretty
cup.
stripped down. Yeah.
And people, I mean, really losing their minds.
Jesus Christ.
Protesting Starbucks, saying, Starbucks is killing Christmas. They hate Christmas. So look, if you know anybody, dear audience, if you know anybody that is going nuts about the Starbucks red cup thing, I would appreciate if you called in and told us what happened. But I want to give you some tips.
Where's the
to tell your
headlines where it
friends.
says, Christians seeing red over the Starbucks cup? I don't see that, but I'm sure
go
it's
to
got
Twitter and look up "It's Just a Cup." Hashtag "It's Just a Cup."
that. Do I have to? I mean, it's part of my job, I guess. So.
Don't look up "Two Girls, One Cup." Look up "It's Just a Cup." So
Okay.
for the listeners,
please.
while you look that up, Dave, this is for the listeners. First of all, tell your friends, listeners, because you know somebody that's nuts about this. If it bothers you, don't buy Starbucks. We don't want your dumbasses in line complaining about the stupid cup anyways. Okay? Now, if it doesn't bother you enough to stay out, just tell the Starbucks barista that your name is Happy Holidays Mike. Right? You're going to order your triple double mocha chocolate latte, and they're going to say, and the name, and you're going to say, Happy Holidays, Mike. And they're going to go to the end, and they're going to say, Happy Holidays, Mike. And you can say, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Or you could say, Happy Holidays, Ari, or Happy Holidays, Luann, or Happy Holidays, whatever, or Merry Christmas, or you could even say, for your name, when they ask your name, you could say, I love Christmas. And then you can have the Starbucks person say, I love Christmas. Your drink is ready.
Yep. I know I'm an influential member of the media with this wildly popular podcast, but I cannot care enough to make even one comment about the red cup. I'm having a lot of trouble.
You have
don't
not
care.
experienced this. And finally, I
No.
want our listeners, tell your friends, just take your own cup. Who cares? Bring your own coffee mug to Starbucks and just make a sour face and shut up.
Yeah. Everybody pouring your coffee thinks you're a crazy lunatic religious wacko who doesn't believe in global warming like they do. So you're a crazy person.
Well, according to Pew Research, if you already have a religious belief, you're less inclined to believe in global warming. You can't
That's
have
true.
two religious
No.
beliefs, right?
It is
so
true.
I might have got that from another podcast I listened to. I'm not sure.
Yeah, there's a lot. There's two big ones to me, and that one is we've talked about it many times. But one is you have to believe all that stuff. All the stuff means like we're causing the warming. It's going to be bad, et cetera, et cetera. All the numbers have to add up. And on top of that, as double mumbo jumbo, you have to also believe in this totally unrelated thing, which is I think politicians can change the weather. Double stupid. Really?
All right. Now, I want to talk a little bit of I'm going to have a little potty talk with you, Dave. Should we put the P for potty tag on this?
Yeah.
Talk a little toilet?
Going to toilet humor coming at you. They're coming underneath you, coming up at you.
I
don't know.
I think I'm going to flush that joke.
Yeah.
And I got an email the other day, and it was from Amazon from a recent purchase that I made. It said, "We want to make sure you're happy with your purchase. If you have any problem at all with it, please let us know so we can make it right. We are a small American business, and we have grown from the ground up by applying all our talent toward our products and our energy toward our customers. We lack the big marketing budgets of larger corporations and rely on word of mouth more than anything. If it's not too much to ask, please help us by writing a short review on Amazon.com." Well, I'm not going to review them on Amazon.com because it's annoying to get an email.
Was there a space after
there was
the
a weird
dot?
space
Okay.
there in the email because I think it's really annoying, even from a well-meaning company. If I buy your stuff, unless I need support, I don't want an email. I don't want you to request me to review the app. I don't want you to request that I review the product. If you're not paying me to do it, I'm not very inclined to go and put a review. Now, reviews are helpful.
Yeah.
If I love something, I will review it.
Yeah.
But now they're a small company, right?
Now, the thing they're asking you to review, too, is a little bit interesting.
Right. So this is what I want to talk about. I mentioned to you that I went to theindispensable.show.com/Amazon, and somehow I screwed this up.
Yeah, we didn't get a kickback.
We didn't
from
get
there.
our 4%, but I purchased the Astor bidet, ASTOR bidet.
ASSTOR?
No, one S. ASTOR
ASTOR.
bidet.
They missed an opportunity there.
They missed out. Now this doesn't require any electricity. It hooks right up to the water pipe.
A bidet, explain. Some of the people may not know what a bidet is. Some of the younger folks. Or super old folks who've never been to Europe.
Okay, so you sit down on the toilet, you do your business, you give a little wipe, then the bidet gives you a little rinse to make sure there's nothing
it's
dangling.
like you're standing over a drinking fountain. It's like going up and then down.
Right? There's like a little drinking fountain there. So you have to adjust it.
Fresh water going up, yucky brown water going down.
It's very powerful. So I had to turn the water pressure down.
Let me ask you a question on this one, too.
Sure.
Do you know, not everyone sits the same way on there. Do you have to adjust, or does it have like an anal recognition software? Can it like find your butthole and like adjust and squirt into the butthole?
This is like $26
So no
piece
anal
of
recognition.
hardware. There's there's no software. It's fully manual. You just got to wiggle yourself a little bit to make sure you get all the
so you
spots.
kind of adjust and you're kind of just okay, good.
So it's just a nice little unit. Comes with all the hardware to attach.
I wonder if the drones that we were using in Afghanistan have anal recognition software, because it'd be really cool to ram those missiles right up the ISIS guy's ass. Oh my!
That would be good. That would be good.
Yeah.
So for $27 plus tax, so less than $30, you install this little thing, a little piece of plastic like a shim on your toilet seat, hook it up to the pipe, and then when you're done with your business, you give the little thing a little twist. It'll create a little pressure, clean you down there, turn it off. It's just a little manual mechanical button.
Cool.
I think it's great.
Yeah, you like it?
As long as it's not leaking. My toilet might be leaking. There's some water on the floor, but I think it was there before we put this thing in, so I'm not sure what's happening.
Toilet trouble is life trouble.
So if you were looking for an interesting gift to buy somebody that you cared about, go to theindispensable.show.com, look for the Amazon logo on the left-hand side, and when you go to Amazon, search for the Astor bidet. And
One S.
With one S.
And
you'll
put
kick
like a
back.
little card, like a card that says you know, for your ass funk, you know,
and you'll kick back. I think it's like 4% or something, and we'll be able to someday get new mic stands that connect to the table instead of these giant things.
Yeah, poor us.
Poor us. Well, we're coming up on a year, and I'm really interested in making it another year.
Okay, yeah, me too. Did we want to wrap it up? I have a couple other things, but I don't know if you want to go now or save them till next week. I don't know. This might be short. I don't know how long this Senator Claire McCaskill video is. How long was it?
Well, let's hear what Senator McCaskill. She has a message for men. Now, this is all I did was open up the YouTube link. I have no idea what this is about.
From what's MO?
Missouri.
Montana?
Missouri.
I thought, okay, it's not MS. It's Missouri. I don't know. I was
Mississippi?
I was never made to memorize all the capitals in school. I somehow avoided that class. I never had to know the capitals and the states and stuff.
I don't think I ever had to study it in school either.
Yeah. I couldn't tell you that one. So I would have thought Montana, Missouri, whatever. So it's Missouri? Missouri?
Missouri.
All right, well, let's hear what she had to say.
If that's Missouri, I wonder what Montana is. Okay, so here's Senator McCaskill. I can see a little tiny thumbnail of the video. It sort of looks like a set. Here we go.
But yeah.
Hello, I'm Senator Claire McCaskill. As one of just 20 women currently serving in the Senate, it's important to me to encourage more women to run for office. But equally important is encouraging more men to sometimes just shut the hell up.
What?
It's not that women don't value your thoughts.
It's they're not listening.
It's just that we don't value all of them. The world doesn't need your opinion on everything.
Yeah, it does. That's why you have 2 ears and I have 1 mouth, so you can listen to everything I say.
Sable's drunk. Don't listen to what he's saying.
No.
For example, what women do with their bodies. Hush. Who the next James Bond should be.
Oh, I definitely have opinions on that.
Zip it. Whether or not it's pronounced GIF or GIF.
Well, the creator said it was GIF, like giraffe. So it's pretty much no
Was the
question.
creator a woman?
Doesn't matter.
Was it a man or a woman?
The creator of the
was a
graphics
man.
interchange format said it's a GIF. He said GIF like the peanut butter.
Okay.
So, what the heck?
I still say GIF because
What does she know?
I'd rather say GIF. But
You can say GIF all you want. It's fine.
here's the thing. Oh,
Shut up! So as a public service, I made the following list of things women no longer need to hear men's opinions on.
I don't need to hear the rest of this. How about you?
yeah, I don't either.
I'm
This is
just
this is
kidding.
a. Did you want to hear it?
I'll totally play it.
Okay, go ahead. Yeah, a little bit more.
Please take a moment to jot these down. Star Wars, pantsuits, selfies, Shonda Rhimes, curtains, carbs, millennials, body hair removal, religion, gluten, Harry Potter, nut allergy, Star Wars again, all art in general, whether or not to brine the Thanksgiving turkey, and ethics in gaming journalism. If you can control yourselves and hold back from further expressing your opinions on any of these topics, we'll let you keep weighing in on marijuana legalization. But that's a huge, big if. Thanks so much.
I don't know what the hell got into her, why she even made this video, because it's not that funny. It's a little amusing.
It's amusing.
By
Well,
the
it
way,
says it's from Stephen Colbert. The Late Show
was it on
with
his
Stephen
show?
Colbert. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good.
Now,
Then
was that
that's
the
okay.
real senator, or was that an actress?
I think it is her. We'd have to Google search her, but I think that's her. Wouldn't be that very fun. She's not. This woman's not particularly funny, so it must be the actual Claire McCaskill. Now,
Okay.
This is a fantastic example of what I'm calling mam-splaining.
Ma'am-splaining.
Yeah,
okay.
this is when an old biddy tells men what they should and should not talk about. Mm-hmm. One of the reasons, look, you know why women get upset if someone says no, it's actually a GIF or a GIF, a GIF. They actually somehow I think they feel like they're being criticized or something, and they really why is he doing that? Whereas if I said GIF and you said GIF, I go, what the fuck, whatever, who gives a fuck?
Right.
And I don't even think about it after. Are they jealous because we could just ignore this information that we don't give a shit about?
Just
Is
let
that
it
what
bounce
is?
off.
I don't. If you're talking about pantsuits, what is it? Star Wars? What? Who gives a shit? Ma'am-splaining.
Ma'am-splaining.
Yeah. And by the way, she says we don't need to hear your opinion on everything. Well, I'm kind of tired of hearing women's opinions on nothing. I hear a lot of talk about nothing. Well, at least what I would consider nothing conversations. But you had an example of one I can't remember. But what was it? She said everything they talk about seemed like it was nothing. Yeah. Well, anyway, we'll come up with some examples of nothing conversations later. But yes, I'm exaggerating. Not all women say nothing, talk about nothing all the time.
Well,
a lot of times, the problem you're having at work with that chick that's kind of a bitch, but you don't want a solution. You just want someone to listen. That's kind of a nothing conversation.
That's
I don't
a
really
nothing
need
conversation.
Yeah, and I don't like those conversations where she makes a statement, the wife or some woman makes a statement, but implicit somewhere in there is I'm supposed to answer, even though there was no question. So a lot of times we're silent, so we seem like we're distant or we're not listening. It's like, well, you didn't ask me anything, and half the time you don't want me to provide any sort of solution. You just want me to listen, so I'm just listening and feeling for you.
Well, now
Feeling conversations to us don't make any sense.
in my day job at the community college I work in, there is a high percentage of Hispanic middle-aged women that work there. Lots, like I'd say most of the women that work there. In fact, most of the staff probably are like middle-aged Hispanic women. And I don't know whether this is a cultural thing or it just happens to be that part of town I live in, or because they're middle-aged women. I don't know where the derivative origin is, but many times, sometimes several times a day, I'll get a phone call. Someone will make some kind of crazy statement, and then there'll be a pause. And I'll wait, listening.
Yeah.
And then there'll be a pause. And then she'll say something. It's always the woman will say something. And I'll say, yes, well. And I'll say, well, what? And she'll go, well, what about this? And I'll say, I'm not trying to be a smart aleck here, but you went off on a rant and you didn't actually ask me anything or tell me anything or
So you were
request
still
me to
listening,
do
waiting
anything.
you're still listening, waiting for a question or
I'm
something that
still-
would provoke an answer from you.
And now I've found
comment.
that I preface this, I say this at least once a day. I'm not trying to be a smart aleck, nor do I intend to be a smart aleck.
Which means the following words out of my mouth are going to be smart-assy and smart-alecky.
I just didn't hear you say or ask anything.
So you mansplain to them what
every
they did wrong with their question.
single day at work, every single day of my career
And then they mansplained.
in the day job.
Okay.
And oftentimes it's very passive aggressive. Something will be,
Why do you hate women so much?
there'll be some implication of something that they think.
And they're all earning 7 cents to the 7. Was it again 70 something cents to
Oh
the
no,
dollar
not
that you're
in this.
making?
Not in this situation. They're all making six figures.
Oh, no, are they administrators?
There's everyone there makes except me because I haven't been there. Everyone that's been there, that's why they never want to leave the job.
Yeah.
Right? They may have come in at a low wage, but now they're all making over 100
I figured out today I was driving. No, what was I doing? I don't know what I was doing, but it hit me why women apparently make 70% of what men make is because they live 7 years longer.
Oh.
This is how it's evened out. We're dying sooner, so
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of like it's a distribution of wealth. And they should like that because most of them are Democrats if they're not married.
This is so interesting you brought this up though, because I find myself at a loss. So like I'll have a conversation with somebody and there's a URL that you have to either type in or bookmark or open the email and click on in order to get to this service that we use.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll have the conversation. This is how you get there. Here are the 3 ways you can do it. Here's how you make a bookmark.
YOU.
It's called the URL. And then I'll get a phone call. The words aren't working.
Words aren't working.
I say, I'm sorry, I don't understand. Well, the words, I can't remember the words you told me.
Well, that doesn't mean they're not working. That means she just can't. She's typing in the wrong thing, right?
So I had to say again, I'm sorry, I don't understand what you mean when you say the words. Well, the words to get to the software. I go, well, the software's on your computer. I still try to help me out. So I'm trying to walk her through. Again, I make it. This is why I'm a professional. I make it a point not to be a smart aleck. At least on the phone to them.
That's why you get paid the big bucks.
Sometimes I have to complain a little bit off to the side.
Yeah.
But I want to be patient because not everybody's technically savvy. But at some point I have to say, we just had this conversation an hour ago. I need you to write it down.
I just mansplained this to you an hour ago.
Well, I'm going to write it down. I said, well, I need you to get your paper out and your pen, and I want you to write it down right now.
Okay, text-splaining. That's what this is now.
But so that's the other side of it's either I'm not trying to be a smart aleck, but you didn't ask me anything, so I'm waiting to find out what you want to ask.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that you're getting to ask to the point of asking for something, or anyways.
So yeah, kind of a funny sketch there on Colbert, which is basically Colbert's writers wrote it, so that's what they think about men. And women in the
Okay.
Senate,
You don't think that was her?
Oh, probably not.
Because if she said that to her husband, he might smack her.
Yeah. Well, I hope he
And
doesn't
domestic
smack her. I hope he
domestic
just-
violence, that's terrible.
I hope
You
he
should
just
never
stops
do that.
talking to her because she'll be like, "You never talk anymore." He's like, "Well, you don't approve of any of the conversations that I like to have."
Now, I was once told that the key to a successful marriage is to stop talking to your wife.
Yeah. Yeah, that could work.
I asked a friend's
If by
grandfather.
successful, you mean like getting a divorce.
50 years of marriage. And I asked, what's the secret? And he said, I just don't talk to my wife. I just let her say whatever she wants. And I go, uh-huh. And that's it.
Yeah, it might work in some instances.
I'm not saying that it would work for you or the listeners.
I think she would like it if her man stopped talking, or her partner, whoever it might be.
So I guess let's skip out on what a liar Ben Carson is.
By the way, do you ever tell women what to do with their bodies? Because I don't really know of many men who tell women what to do with their bodies.
Well,
Women who tell them what to do with their bodies.
I don't speak to very many women about their bodies. But
sometimes I might tell them to like lay down or move over.
When
or
I
like,
have
I need you to hunch down a little bit.
When I have the occasion, it usually involves something to do with my body also.
Yeah,
so,
that's what I'm thinking. But even it's probably code for the abortion thing, but usually they're talking about, they're specifically referring to the other body that's inside your body. They're talking about that one. Like, hey, don't scoop that out and throw it into the garbage maybe, because maybe, maybe you give it up for adoption. That's what they're saying. They're not saying what you should do with your body,
Well, something happens when guys go off the dating market. They just no longer give a crap about what most women say. Most of what ladies talk about is completely irrelevant if it's not going to lead to us and bedroom time. Like, there's no room in my brain
really off
for
the rails
90% of the conversation. You have to be really intelligent.
We are like my dog. It's like everything is he going to drop that piece of food on the floor? I'm checking my bowl. Nope, there's no food in there. Let me look under the table. What are they doing over there?
Right?
Okay. Oh, wait, someone's opening the refrigerator. I'm going to run over there and make sure. Nope, I don't like that thing. It's a sweet thing.
Guys in a nutshell. Should I listen to her because it's going to be interesting and I might have a creative opportunity? Is it interesting and I'm going to be intellectually challenged? Is this something that I may meet some friends that I want to also, go do something with? Is this going to lead to sex?
Yeah. Well,
there's a hierarchy. And at some point, once you're off the market and you're married, most of those that aren't networking just are gone.
Yeah.
And you just have no reason to talk to people.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah. Well, you've brought it on home here and wrapped it up in a nice little bow. I always try to explain this to women. Really, men behave, everything they're doing, straight men, they're doing in hopes that you will have sex with them. All the guys that are running around in gangs shooting people are getting sex from the female gang members. If they stopped rewarding them with the sex, they will stop shooting each other. I swear to God, they will stop shooting each other. If none of those girls, Lysistrata, the Greek tragedy, was it Aristophanes' play or is it Euripides? Might be Euripides.
I think it was Aristophanes.
It's either Euripides or Euripides. No, it's Euripides or Aristophanes. It's one of those two guys. The women of Greece, of Athens, they say, no more sex until you guys stop warring with other nations. And they stop warring with other nations because they can't take it anymore. They want their sex. This will work, girls. You say, no, I don't want to. I'm only dating guys who are in the community college down the street over here, working towards a goal and have a job. Those are the ones I'm having sex with. You will see them filling out applications. That's what they will be doing. Okay?
They'll all be taking my classes then.
Yeah.
So if you have any thoughts about anything that we've been talking about today, you could give us a call. Dave, the number is...
Let him who hath understanding reckon the number of the podcast, for it is a Google number.
I'm not sure why we have to know it's a Google number, but you can leave a voicemail.
It's part of the Iron Maiden
and we'll
number of the
it.
beast thing, because he says, for it is a human number.
Got it.
That's why. By the way, don't interrupt me while I'm doing that. It's very hard to get that echo in my voice. It's
okay.
It's painful. So hold on.
Google number. Its number is 657-206-0777.
That's great. Oh, I had two more things to mention.
Yeah.
Number one, if you go to theindispensable.show.com on your browser, or you click on the menu on your smartphone, on the left-hand side in the navigation, there's a couple of new features. One, I had a specific request to talk about Android stuff. Now, I don't own anything Android anymore. I haven't owned since my Nexus 1. I haven't been an Android guy. But I found that subscribing to the show on Android can be a little bit challenging because they don't have a built-in podcast player. And I don't know what a good podcast player is.
Stitcher.
Well, some people use Stitcher. So I put a link, a special Android link. So if you have any Android podcast player on your phone, you click the subscribe on Android link, it will subscribe there, or it will take you to a web page that suggests a bunch of players.
Or
so
suggests a better phone like an iPhone.
So you can subscribe to the show.
No, I like
on your-
Android.
on
I
your
think
Android
they're fine.
phone.
I think the Samsung phones are supposed to be awesome. So
Well, please.
I don't want to
yeah, I
bag,
think
I don't want to bag on those guys.
my
I like
my
Android.
coworker has the Nexus 5, the new Nexus 5. I think it's a 5S, 5P, whatever it is. It looks great. It's a great looking phone. It's got a fingerprint reader on the back. Looks pretty neat. I mean, all my software is on the iPhone now, but
Anal recognition? Does it have anal recognition?
no, sorry. That's what your Astra bidet is for. Please support the show. Go to theindispensable.show.com, click on the PayPal link, and send us $10.
Yeah,
We'll
we got
use
a PayPal
that.
link on there now.
We got a PayPal link. We'll use the $10 that you send us to go to the local bar and buy 2 beers and talk about bits for the next show.
We drank wine tonight.
That's right.
Look, the wine often can fuel the jokes. I don't know if you'd have the mansplaining or anal recognition without a glass of wine behind me making me think of these things.
Well, as the host of the 8-Bit podcast mentioned to me on Twitter once, our show is basically a drinking club.
Cool. Someday we should actually take on the road.
There you go. So I want to thank everybody for subscribing. You can find the Indispensable Thursday show on iTunes and everywhere that fine podcasts are served. We want to hear your voice. Call our hotline at
657-206-0777
and leave us a message. We appreciate your iTunes Store reviews. We invite you to follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/The Indispensable Thursday Show, or on Twitter at Sable and Dave. Do you have any other follow-up, Dave?
Nope, I'm going to have to save my other comedy genius till next week.
All right, more Comedy Genius next week, same time, same place, same bat channel.
Oh, God.
Na 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 na.
Sable's drunk.